Good evening. Thank you for joining us to celebrate our 25th anniversary on this night of learning, discussion, and action with actress and mental health advocate Taraji P. Henson. Whether we meet a child through a judge, pediatrician, or teacher, Children's Law Center fights so that every child grows up with a stable family, good health, and a quality education. We fight child by child, family by family, and policy by policy. We fight for children who are buffeted by the storms of trauma, racism, and poverty. We fight for students with special education needs, for families with health problems that can't be solved by medicine alone, and for kids who are placed in the foster care system. Whether you're learning about us for the first time tonight or you supported us since our founding 25 years ago, we're so glad you've chosen to join us on this important fight. One of the great privileges of leading Children's Law Center has been the opportunity to meet thousands of children and families over the years. And over the past quarter century, we've reached more than 40,000 directly through individual assistance. One of these children, now an incredibly accomplished young woman, is here with me today. I am delighted to welcome back Keisha, a former client who some of you may remember from our benefit a few years ago.
Thank you, Judith. I'm happy to be back for the 25th anniversary.
For those who haven't met Keisha yet, she came to us as a 13-year-old, at which point she had already been through so much, having spent 4 days in an attic waiting to be rescued from the wreckage of Hurricane Katrina, before coming to DC, where she cycled through foster home after foster home. It was a long, difficult road, to put it mildly. Keisha, where did it end up leading you?
Today, I'm a new mom, and I just received my master's degree in applied sociology. And I started a new job as a researcher. I plan to use my experiences and my voice to emphasize the importance of mental health and talk therapy when addressing the needs of children and young adults who have dealt with complex traumas.
Keisha, you embody so much of the talent and resilience we see in the children we meet, and you prove what's possible when we give children what they need to feel and to be supported. And of course, Keisha, one of the reasons we wanted to bring you back for this event is because you had previously shared your experiences with depression and helped others know they're not alone. It's something that you and Taraji have in common, the power of speaking up to break the cycle of shame and stigma.
Absolutely. Addressing my mental health head on, specifically my battles with depression and suicide, quite literally saved my life. When I was a teenager, I was dealing with so much trauma and anxiety that at one point I did not see a reason to live. It was a very scary time, and as a foster child, I felt even more isolated from family and friends than ever before. But meeting Emily and Sarah, my lawyers here, who fought to find the right therapist for me and helped me through applying for college, set me on a life-changing path of self-discovery. Not all at once, of course, but they supported me and made me feel seen so I could address my problems directly through talk therapy. And it's led me to where I am today, a proud mom who's pursuing her dreams.
It's true, our lawyers do care deeply about the children and families they work with, and they go above and beyond to pursue every possible resource and solution on their behalf. And if that doesn't work, we fight to change the entire system. That's been especially important this year with the level of trauma, isolation, and learning loss we're seeing with our kids.
Yeah, I can only imagine. My lawyers really saw and valued me for who I was, and it didn't stop until I got the help that I needed. So it brings me hope to know that DC's kids have their own Sarahs and Emily's fighting in the trenches with them through all of this.
And on that note, let's hear from some of those very people, our lawyers and our clients, who are in the middle of that fight right now.
No matter who you are and where you live, you've likely felt the weight of this past year on your mental health. For the children and families we work with, poverty, racism, and trauma were already creating an unbearable weight.
I talk to clients every day who are struggling with housing stability. The fear and the uncertainty of where families are going to live piles up. I spoke with one mom who shared with me she had to start taking antidepressants to cope with the anxiety that's just been exacerbated by terrible housing conditions and an unstable living situation. Her son's doctor believes that the violence in their neighborhood has been affecting his mental health as well.
When I first met LaToya, she had repeated 10th grade 3 times and was performing at a 3rd grade level. When her pediatrician learned that LaToya had stopped going to school because of her mental health issues, she reached out to us. LaToya was having psychosis, auditory and visual hallucinations, and debilitating anxiety, all which led to her fear of leaving the house. And while the school knew about LaToya's mental health needs, they weren't providing any opportunity for her to learn at home. I took legal action. The result? She got into a therapeutic full-time program that could meet her mental health and special education needs. LaToya began to make great progress. And after years of taking off work to care for her daughter, Mom was finally able to go back to her job. These are just 2 of the thousands of children for whom stable housing, school success, and mental health are inextricably entwined. Our behavioral health system is broken. Children and families are waiting much too long to get the help they need, and when they do, the quality of the help they get is often poor. The pandemic has made this crisis worse, and for many young people, finding an available therapist was nearly impossible.
It was just hard, like the whole pandemic, the whole time, like it was just hard. Like I could never talk to nobody. Like, at all. And after a while, it just started to get irritating, frustrating. And I was already working, trying to keep up with things that I had going on with myself, trying to keep my head on straight, that I didn't necessarily have time to keep trying to connect with new people, every other week. Everybody needs somebody, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter how old you are, you need somebody. Even if it's just a talk, a hug, a kiss on the cheek, you need somebody. You need that support. You need that love. You know what I'm saying?
We've heard concerns like these every day from the children we work with, which is why reforming the entire mental health system and increasing access to behavioral health services is our top priority. As students re-enter school and parents return to work, we all need to be part of the solution. From government agencies to nonprofits, from individual donors to foundations, it's time to end DC's behavioral health crisis.
Children's Law Center has been leading the fight to bring accessible, quality mental health services to DC kids for over a decade. Because of that work, kids can get connected to behavioral health supports directly through their pediatrician and in their schools. We're reaching kids where they are. We're removing barriers that too often get in the way, and we're ensuring that the quality of services continues to improve. But we can't do it alone. Our coalition partners know they can rely on us to be the glue and muscle to move these complex changes forward, bringing our legal expertise, relationships, and tenacity to the work every day. Even with the huge strides we've made, there is still so much more work to do, so many more kids to reach. Just like we heard from Kanaya, even when a child has an advocate by their side, finding the right therapist is hard, especially right now. And so the fight continues, and with renewed urgency. In fact, just a few days ago, we testified at the DC Council about the increased investments that are needed to make quality behavioral health services a reality for all DC kids. And this summer, we'll be sharing a comprehensive plan that outlines the steps we need to make as a community to give children what they need in this unprecedented moment.
Children's Law Center's impact has been far-reaching and life-changing. And I know that because it changed my life. Without a doubt, I would not be where I am today without Children's Law Center. And I want to make sure that they can keep doing this work for the thousands of kids who still need help. But they can't do it without you, without us. So please, if you're able, go and make a donation right now to help us fight for the next Keisha Children's Law Center meets. You can donate by clicking the link in the chat, emailing a pledge to outreach@childrenslawcenter.org, calling the number on your screen, texting DC Kids to 44321, or when we return to networking, clicking on the orange donate buttons in the bottom left and right corners. And while you make your gifts, I just want to say thank you. I know that some of you watching right now are the same people whose generosity meant that Emily and Sarah could be there for me when I needed help. I know we may never meet, but you made a difference in my life. And so I hope all of you will give or give again right now. And maybe in another 25 years, for Children's Law Center's 50th anniversary, one of the young people impacted by your gift tonight will be here to share their story. And now I'll pass it back to Judith, along with another former DC kid who's also found power and healing by speaking out about mental health. I hope everyone enjoys this conversation with the one and only Taraji P. Henson.
You may know Taraji P. Henson from her role as Cookie in the popular TV series Empire and her award-winning performance in such box office hits as Hidden Figures. Today, we honor her for another role, effective and outspoken advocate for mental health. At Children's Law Center, we know how important mental health support can be. Over the past 25 years, Children's Law Center has reached tens of thousands of children. Whether we meet them in a courtroom or in a doctor's office, whether they're in elementary school or high school, one thing is almost always true. Trauma and unmet mental health issues are preventing children from being safe, healthy, and learning. Today, we honor Ms. Henson for standing up for our children and their families, using her fame to bring attention to and address the mental health needs in the Black community. Ms. Henson created a foundation which attacks the issue from many different angles. It funds therapy in urban schools, it's provided virtual therapy throughout the pandemic, and it's creating a pipeline of Black mental health professionals. Ms. Henson has also started a conversation on Facebook Watch, where she conducts emotional and riveting conversations with such stars as Toni Braxton and Gabrielle Union. She creates a safe space for them to open up about their mental health struggles, and in doing so, she makes it possible for all of us to do the same. Ms. Henson, we are so proud that you were born and raised in the District of Columbia. We're delighted to partner with you to bring mental health services to DC's children, and tonight I am honored to present you with the 2021 Distinguished Child Advocate Award.
Yay! Well, thank you so much. I'm so honored to receive this award from Children's Law Center for their 25th anniversary. What an incredible milestone. And then having grown up in DC, I'm particularly touched to partner with an organization that is the leading force for children's mental health in the District of Columbia, an issue particularly dear to my heart. This is a fight I am committed to. And Children's Law Center and my own foundation, the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, share so many of the same values and goals, including getting mental health support into city schools. I couldn't be prouder to join forces with an organization like Children's Law Center, who is leading the fight to get it done here in the city that I call home. Thank you so much. This really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well, we are so delighted to have you with us, and thank you for sitting down with me this evening to talk about the work you've been doing. I want to start right here in the District of Columbia, where you were born and raised, and where we do our work for the Children's Law Center. What was it like growing up in the District of Columbia?
It was a lot of fun. It was dangerous at times, but you know, when you're a child, you just see joy in life. But it was fun. Growing up in DC, I'll tell you this, it developed a tough skin for me. Like, it gave me everything I needed to tackle Tinseltown. That's where I got my confidence in myself. When I was growing up, we considered ourselves superstars and celebrities already. I mean, DC is a city where we created our own music, go-go music. So that's something that we hold very near and dear to our hearts. And it gives us our individuality. So I came out to LA with a tough skin and knowing that I was a star already. DC gave me that. I can't explain it. Maybe it's something in the water.
You are a wonderful ambassador for the 51st state. I love it. I know some of the folks watching tonight, many of them are from the District of Columbia, whether they're the kids that we work with or our supporters. I think they'd love to hear like a favorite landmark or where you went to elementary school.
Oh God, I went to elementary school in two places. I went to Holy Comforter, which was a private Catholic school. And then my family couldn't afford to send me there anymore. Then I went to Kingsman Elementary, and to my understanding, that school doesn't exist anymore. That was in off of North Capitol, in Northeast DC. And then after that, I was old enough to be a latchkey kid. I was 13, and then that's when my mom enrolled me to Friendship School Without Walls. That was in Southeast Washington, D.C., where I live. So that's where I went to junior high. Then I was very smart. My best friend and I, Tracy J., who runs my foundation, runs the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, she and I both went to Ballou because we excelled in science and math. But science and math kind of stopped there for me because that's when I knew I was an artist. And that's when we both decided to audition because we saw Fame. We decided to audition for Duke Ellington School of Fine Arts. She got accepted. I didn't. But it didn't come in between our friendship.
I love it. And it didn't stop you from going on to be an actress, which is amazing.
No, it didn't. It did for a minute, but then I got it back.
So well, let's talk about that. You've traveled from DC all the way to Hollywood, and you're not just a celebrated actress, but you have your own production company. So why have you spent so much time focusing on advocacy within the mental health field?
I feel as an African American woman and as a mother, I see how we're suffering. And as a privileged woman that can afford therapy and psychiatrists, and I can afford it, in a time when I needed to find my own, it became an issue. And then I started thinking, because I'm such an empath, I started thinking about the millions of other people of color who can't afford it or who are too afraid to speak up about mental illness because of the stigma. It got me and my best friend talking. It compelled us to create this foundation to help others and guide them to therapy because, we've been dealing with trauma, generational trauma since slavery, and it's time that we talk about it.
And you do on your Facebook watch. You're just amazing. And one of the things that you say in every episode when you're interviewing someone, at some point you say, "I see you." And I'm interested in why that's important to you, because you say it every single time.
Because every human needs to be seen and feel heard. Don't you like being seen? Don't you like feeling like someone sees me, someone hears me? Otherwise, you feel isolated.
Yes.
And oftentimes with mental illness, that's what you feel. So it's important that everyone feels seen and heard.
So tell us a little bit about the foundation you started and what your goals are.
Okay, we have so much work to do. But when we first started the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, named after my father, in honor of my father, was a Vietnam vet who suffered from PTSD, bipolarism, but wore his heart on his sleeve and spoke his truth and was unapologetically himself. I thought the great way to honor him is to name this foundation after him because he talked about his mental state and illness all the time. And we started this because we noticed, problems in our community surrounding mental health, especially the huge stigma surrounding it. We don't talk about it. We have to pray it away. We can't be seen as weak. We have trust issues. There's so much. The recidivism rate. Now that I'm in a place in my career, God has given me the mic. What am I going to say? How am I going to use this art to help others? I can't just collect all of this money and fame and keep it to myself. That's not what makes the world go round. Humans need each other. If you have a story to tell, if you're a survivor, tell your story because someone needs to hear it. Someone needs the blueprint. So that's why we started this foundation, because there's so much work that needs to be done in our community, and I can't sit back and complain. I have to get up and do something. And so this is our efforts.
That's great.
We have
and I
so
know
much work.
one of the goals of the foundation is to bring mental health support to urban schools. At Children's Law Center, we share that goal. In fact, I'm really proud that Children's Law Center has been really instrumental in bringing mental health supports into citywide to all the schools in the
Yes.
District of Columbia. And I'm excited because we're partnering with the Henson Foundation to bring some mindfulness training into those programs, which is really exciting. Talk about why you chose schools as a place to put mental health programs.
I was a substitute teacher before I became Taraji P. Henson, the celebrity. And when I started substitute teaching, I volunteered to work with special needs children. And I did. All Black boys, special ed class. My heart sank because in that class was my son. My son wasn't physically there, but I see my son in that class. And what if I didn't make it? What if I was still in DC and didn't make it out the hood, right? That something felt weird inside of me. And it dawned on me because I was trying to teach them. And they're like, oh, I can't do this. Kick their feet up. I'm special ed, so that means I can't learn. Okay. That's when it was like somebody kicked me in my stomach because I'm standing in the middle of the pipelines of prison. This is exactly what's happening. I do a little research because I'm an empath. I find out one kid, I think one parent was incarcerated, the other parent is working. He gets picked up at the 7-Eleven for stealing food. Not money, food, right? But he goes to jail. No one can empathize with his trauma that he's living in. He just goes to prison, so he doesn't come back to school. Another kid, they find him wandering along the train tracks because no one's at home to enforce school, to enforce homework. So they come to school, they get labeled problematic. That's an issue. These children are suffering from trauma. Go to school the next day, kids are holding me by the hand. Miss Henson, look, there was a shootout last night, laughing at bullet holes still in the wall. They're normalizing trauma. This is years ago. I had to go through that to understand the importance of this Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. Those memories of those children, those faces I still see today, like that haunted me all of these years, and it propelled me to create this foundation. And it made me understand that the work that needs to be done right away is with our youth. Because parents are still dealing with the stigma.
You talked a lot about the importance of having culturally competent therapists, and I know you've invested in that. You wrote an editorial that I thought had a wonderful definition of cultural competence. You wrote, if you come from a biased place, if you blame any systemic issues that are happening to a culture on the individual, you won't be able to guide them properly. I just thought that was a beautiful way of saying it. Can you say more about the importance of having Black mental health professionals and culturally competent mental health professionals?
Well, let me just be very clear. It's not about a color. It's actually about cultural competency, okay? Because I know Black people who are clueless when it comes to culture, just like white people, just like anybody, right? So it's about an individual. Like you have some great history teachers that aren't people, you know what I mean? So it's a mindset, right? So, I mean, in order for someone to open up in a therapy session, they must feel safe. If I feel like you're biased or you won't understand or if I get upset about something, then you're going to look at me as an angry Black woman when what I'm telling you, I have every right to be angry, but because of your bias, you just see an angry Black woman sitting before you. How am I going to get help? So again, like I said, it's not even about skin color. It's even though we do need more people of color in the field. And I think the reason why we don't have that is because of the stigma, because our children, we don't talk about it at home. Our children don't even know to study in this field. So that's why we also giving out scholarships as well for students, furthering their education in the mental health field. We just gave out 6 scholarships. So, I mean, like I said, there's so much work to be done, but I'm excited because I feel like I have purpose now.
You do. You're getting extraordinary amount of things done. I want you to take a moment to talk to the children and families in DC who are going to be listening. What would you say if you were talking to them directly?
What I would say to the youth is there is no such thing as perfection. Okay? My therapist set me free when she said perfection is the perfect lie. What you see on social media is not always true. Don't look at other people's grass. right? And think it's greener. It may be perfect and green because it's AstroTurf. I'm saying that to say, don't compare yourself to other people, especially what you see on social media, because I'm telling you, people aren't putting in trauma and pain on social media. They fix the pictures and they alter and filter their lives on here. You have a lot on you as a child. Please ask for help. Fear is the thing that can kill you. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Fear can kill you because fear keeps you hidden in the dark shadows of despair. It takes courage to fight for yourself. When I went before the public as Taraji P. Henson, this celebrity who I'm sure y'all think is strong and got everything together because I got money, money doesn't rescue you from your trauma. What money can allow you is to seek the help and afford the help for your trauma. But it doesn't make it go away. It doesn't disappear overnight. Like Biggie Smalls says, more money, more problems. When I went before the world and shared my struggles with anxiety and depression, the relief I felt, I can't even put it in the words, the feeling of relief. Because you know what it showed me? Just by saying, hey, see me over here? I suffer from this. The many hands that went up made me feel so much better because then I knew I wasn't alone. Now, if I had stayed in a space of fear, I probably would have died. Alone, thinking I was alone. But the moment you speak up, oh my goodness, the relief. Because let me tell you, what this past year has done to all of us has leveled us all. We are all humans. This pandemic did not spare a soul.
So at Children's Law Center, we are committed to everybody, no matter how much money they have, getting access to the mental health services that you're saying you can buy. And I'm very proud that we were able to bring the Henson Foundation together with United Health Group, which is one of the largest insurance companies in the country. And I understand they've donated 1,000 hours of virtual therapy for you to be able to give to Black adults and children around the country, and that you're going to do cultural competency training for their thousands of therapists in their network. And I wondered if you can just talk a little bit about what that partnership means to you.
Oh my goodness. Look, it takes a village, right? There is no way that Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation could accomplish so much without allies. I mean, that's in life, humans, we need each other. That's just how the world goes around. We need each other. And, you know, anytime a partnership comes, they see the work that we're doing, we feel seen. You know what I mean? And if I feel seen, if Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation feels seen, imagine the millions of other people that feel seen. So partnerships like this are so very important because nonprofit, we don't make money. This is to service the community. Before we end, is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to make sure that the kids and the families in the District of Columbia hear? Be kind. Be kind, because you just never know what a person's going through. Just be kind.
Wow, thank you both for having this important conversation. And now I want to get us kicked off with the first audience question of the night. One quick note, it may take a moment for Judith and Taraji to appear on your screens, so stick around. You can use the raise hand button to ask a question. My question is for Taraji. As you heard, I benefited from years of therapy to help me address my own childhood experiences, but it's definitely been a journey. I find myself constantly having to reevaluate how to balance my mental health with my everyday responsibilities like being a mom or advancing my career. So I'm curious to know how you incorporate a mental health check in your everyday life.
Thank you, Keisha. That is a great question. And while we're waiting for Taraji to join us, let me reiterate what you just said, which is that Brian Shook, our Chief Development Officer, who's here with me, is going to be calling on people who click the raise hand button to ask their question. I know we're not going to be able to get to every question that folks want to ask Taraji, so please also submit your questions through the Q&A feature next to the chat, and Brian will try to read through some of those questions. Welcome, Taraji. Do you want to take Keisha's question first? How do you incorporate a mental health check in your everyday life?
I just allow myself to feel all the feels, and according to how I feel, if I feel low or down, I try to find things to lift my spirit. That is, consciously shifting things that appear to be negative into positives, or if it's just going out into my salon and, doing hair or makeup or playing in nails and making wigs. That's what I do. I just allow myself to be exactly where I am. And if it's too much, I call my therapist.
Perfect.
Keisha, thanks for that great question, and Taraji for your really candid response. Now I'll bring folks who've raised their hands up to the stage, and to avoid any technological glitches, we'll have you listen to Taraji's and Judith's answers from the audience. I see Nicole Gima's hands raised. Nicole's been one of our amazing parent leaders over the last 4 years. Nicole, we're turning on your mic and camera, so fire away.
Hi, Taraji. Hi, Judith. Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Taraji, you invite other artists like Gabrielle Union and Mary J. Blige onto your Facebook Watch series to talk about their struggles with mental health. Can you please share an insight from one of the conversations you've had about mental health during your Facebook Watch show that surprised or moved you? And thank you.
Yes. Well, these are my friends, so not really a light bulb for me. But I hope that there were light bulb moments for others who think that celebrities don't have mental health challenges too. I mean, the goal of the show is to help the Black community understand that, we are not alone. You are not alone. They are not alone. No matter where you come from or how much money you have, you can and you will most likely experience some sort of mental challenges if you're a person of color. That's just a given.
Thank you, Nicole and Taraji. Such an interesting question and answer. All right, I see one of our former Helping Children SOAR benefit co-chairs, Greg Coleman with SWORKIT. He's got his hand up. Greg, welcome to the stage.
Here he comes.
And go ahead and ask your question.
All right, well, listen, good evening. So this question is for both Taraji and Judith. The pandemic has changed how we deliver mental health services, and especially with telehealth. In your opinions, what have been the benefits and even limitations of kind of like moving healthcare into personal space?
You want to take that first?
Sure. I think that what it has done is it's made it more comfortable for people to feel safe sharing from their own homes. So a lot of people who have never tried or were afraid to step into an office, I think were more inclined to try therapy for the first time because they felt safe in the comforts of their own home.
That's exactly right, Taraji. I would add that for our client community who have such limited financial means, that not having to travel has made it possible. So the cost and time of transportation for low-income families is pretty high. So I think it's made it possible for more people to be able to get therapy. I will say the downside is if you live in a very small apartment and there are a lot of people, it's hard to find the privacy for good confidentiality.
Wonderful. Thanks for that question, Greg. I now see Mia Howard from Accenture. She's got her hand raised. Accenture has been a critical corporate partner in our work, particularly on our housing and special education advocacy. We're so excited for our partnership with you. The floor is yours, Mia.
Thank you. Hi, Taraji and Judith, and thank you both for your time. I have a question for both Taraji and Judith. Both of you are very committed to connecting children and families of color to mental health resources. In this work, what is one of the impacts you've had that you're most proud of?
Okay, I can answer that. Well, I think what I'm most proud of is that more Black boys and men have gone to therapy through a free therapy campaign. We have seen a 200% increase in last year. And I'm proud to think that, you know, my foundation, have had something to do with that. We've provided over 3,000 sessions, and I am very proud of that. Free sessions, by the way.
Wow. Well, Children's Law Center has been around for 25 years, so I have to say choosing one thing to be proud of is hard. But in this context, I think especially in the middle of the pandemic, I am really proud that we were able to get mental health services into schools and pediatricians' offices before the pandemic, because I know it's been a lifesaver. And there are thousands of kids that I've never met who were in Keisha's situation and got the kind of support Keisha told you about because of our work as an organization.
Thank you for that really important question, Mia. Next, I am seeing Janine Garcia from Denton's. She has her hand raised. Denton's has been a long-standing partner with Children's Law Center, and especially with our health and racial justice work. So we're excited to welcome to the stage Janine. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks. Hi, Judith. Hi, Taraji. So this question is for both of you. Given the economic impact of the pandemic, the social isolation, and the loss and grief that we have all seen, we know that this year has been especially difficult and especially traumatic for children. So what are some things immediate and near term that we, the organizations who are committed to partnering with Children's Law Center, what can we do to help?
Well, I would say, you know, talk to children about their experiences at home, create a safe space by sharing your own experiences with them first. I mean, you know, we have to openly talk about mental health when they are children, you know, around the kitchen table. Tamar Braxton, when she was on my show, she does this thing with her son where she asks him, what were your roses today? Mm-hmm. And what were your thorns? And just by simply asking, you can normalize conversations around emotions and feelings. In schools, I would say more resources. We have an initiative, the Unspoken Curriculum, where we encourage students and teachers to talk about racist bias students feel in school. You know, what students are taught are not always necessarily learned. So
those are perfect things to say. Let me broaden out from schools. If you're part of a school community and your kids are returning to in-person learning soon, I hope you will help your school understand that we need to think about our children's mental health, social emotional learning before they can successfully achieve academically, so that we need to start there. If you're a lawyer in the District of Columbia, I hope you'll take a pro bono case from Children's Law Center. That is an immediate way to help a kid. You can advocate with our local legislature, our DC council, because we need to make sure there's money in the budget. And of course, I would be a bad executive director if I didn't say, please give, because I have 100 colleagues who do awesome work fighting for children's mental health, and we can't do it without your support.
All right. I see a couple of questions in the Q&A box that have gotten some votes. And so Taraji, these questions are for you. I've got two of them here. The first one is a fun one. What role or roles would you most like to play in the future?
More comedic roles, villain. I'm going to play one villain that I think everybody will be happy to hear about, Miss Hannigan in Annie. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
That's amazing.
That's great. And what do you most miss about DC?
I miss the crabs, the blue crabs, and the go-go music.
You miss the blue crabs and the go-go music.
Yes.
So come back and join us.
Oh, don't you worry. I will be back sometime this summer, because I know the male crabs are big in the summertime.
I don't know that our audience knows that there is actually a Taraji P. Henson Day, February 8th. in the District of Columbia. So maybe you can come back and celebrate it with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Would be a wonderful thing. Do we have more questions that we can?
I think we are right. Almost.
We're almost going to lose Taraji, who has been so gracious to give us so much of her time. Taraji, I cannot thank you enough for all that you have done for children and adults around the country, and especially here in the District of Columbia. I know my colleagues and I are incredibly proud to be able to partner with you. So I know you have to leave us to run off to another event, but thank you so, so much for joining us.
And thanks for having me, and just thank you for your effort, tireless work that you do for the children. Thank you so much. It takes a village, so.
It does, and I'm so glad that you're part of our village. I really appreciate that. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you who are in the audience, I hope you'll stay in touch throughout our entire 25th anniversary as we celebrate this incredible milestone, and one that you have all made possible. We are going to have lots of opportunities to engage, including our next community conversation with American Academy of Pediatrics President and good friend to Children's Law Center, Dr. Lee Beers, who's going to talk about the vaccine rollout and its implications for children. So keep an eye out for that. I'm also excited to report that we've raised more than $930,000 thus far, and we're hoping to raise more than $1 million by the end of the week to set us on a course to raise $2.5 million in our 25th year for this critical work. That wraps up our main program. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us. In a moment, you'll be returned to the floor where you can continue chatting with one another. We're going to keep the event open until 8 o'clock, so you are welcome to stick around. And if I understood Remo better, I'd tell you what table I'm at, but I don't. But please wander around and find me to say hello. I'd love to talk with you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in just a moment.